Hey guys, Ruben here, the mentor, and today I'm going to review Free Room by Sonible, which is an EQ plugin for your DAW. Now, installation was pretty simple. You just have to drag the VSTs into your VSTs folder and you show up in your DAW. So this is the side of Sonible, and basically what it is it's an EQ plugin again for your DAW. And the special thing about it is it has 3 EQ in one plugin, which is the Smart Proximity EQ and the Entropy EQ. And it's basically a very new way of using EQ for your music. And I find this fairly useful for things when it comes to mastering a music, correcting some problem music passages like a guitar recording, a drum, or even some vocal recordings, and also very useful for sound design. So let's get to it, and I'm going to show you how to use it in the DAW. So I will walk you through using Smart Equalizer in Free Room, and basically Smart Equalizer is an equalizer that detects the problem frequencies and harmonics in your music and basically corrects them in the equalizer section here. So if you don't have time for mastering or you want to master something very fast, you can use Smart Equalizer by Free Room. I'm going to walk you through using it, and basically here I have a piece, mixed piece, and we're going to find out the problem frequencies in this piece by using Free Room's Smart Equalizer. Alright, now my video might stutter a bit here because Free Room does use a bit of CPU power, so to give you a heads up. Alright, so this is how we do it.
I see you coming out from reckless days.
So while keeping the music playing, you basically hit on alternate and click on the 1 here. Alright, so I'm going to play it and click on that to detect the frequencies.
I see you coming out from reckless days. The morning laughter in its place. I know I can't deny my heart right now.
So what happened there was Smart Equalizer actually detected the problem frequencies, and you can pull this up and you can see that we have that kind of curve which basically EQs off the problem parts and whatnot in your mix. So we can also do this for another bell curve right here. So I'm going to do that on the higher bell curve while playing the same passage.
I see you coming out from reckless days. The morning laughter in its place. I know I can't deny my heart right now.
And there you go, this part is also detected. So these are the problem EQs, problem frequencies in your mix, in this mix right here. So what I can do is I can play around, push it here and there to play around and get the best possible sound for this piece here. So you can see that we lack a bit of bass in this piece, a bit of too much mids in the piece, and a bit of highs that we lack there.
I see you coming out from reckless days.
I'm just going to go extreme so you can hear the difference.
The morning laughter in its place. I know I can't deny my heart right now.
Alright, so Smart Equalizer is a very fast equalizer that detects this way. The equalizer that I used before, like Isotopes EQ, basically you have to actually reference your EQ from another piece. So you reference from another piece and apply it on your piece. But Smart Equalizer actually does it by itself. So this is something very amazing, and that's how Smart Equalizer works in Free Room. So yeah. So I was wondering, what's so special about Proximity EQ in Free Room? And well, I can use something like Transient Master by Native Instruments to actually play around with how near an instrument should sound to me or how far an instrument should sound from me. Alright, but the thing about the Proximity EQ in Free Room is that besides just controlling the transients of the proximity of the instrument, how near or how far, you can always also change it. So for example, you can have the brightness, the treble parts of that sound sounding far away from you, but you can have the bass coming near to you. Let me just reset this, and I'm going to play the loop that I have here to show you the example. So you can hear that the loop contains a bit of reverb in the drum loop, right? So what we can do is we can increase the proximity to give us, a nearing sounding effect. Let's just do this on the fly. So you can hear that it gets tighter right now. But what we can do now is we can always, EQ off the trebles or the bass. So the bass remains at the back, at the background, while the trebles are in front right now. Alright, I'm doing it on extreme, so you can hear that the basses are, far behind, and the treble is near, just next to your ear. Alright, so that's how special the proximity EQ in free roam is. Now it does take a bit of CPU power, so I can't do this as a full video. I have to do this in short breaks. Now, one thing I really like about free roam and its proximity effect is that you can actually optimize and automate all these things right here. So, for example, if you have a dialogue like this in post-production.
She's been in politics since the previous coal government. She was even the environment.
And you want to make this sound like they are, talking further than the ear. What you can do is you can always, decrease the proximity effect right here. Yeah, let's decrease that a lot so you can hear the difference.
I mean, she's been in politics since the previous coal government. She was even the environmental minister. But as a chancellor, I think.
And say, for example, in your film, well, these dialogues in the post-production, they are walking towards the camera, and you want the sound to sound like they are coming from far towards you. So what you can do is you can always automate these things. So basically, I'm going to turn on the right in my DAW, and I'm going to move the proximity.
I mean, she's been in politics.
All right, that is enough. And I'm going to open up the automation lane and find free rooms. Mix here. So what you can do now is you can off that, right? And basically we can automate that. So it sounds as though the subject which is speaking in this waveform is actually walking towards the camera from far. You hear it sounding from far. It comes nearer and nearer towards you. Let me show you this in action.
I mean, she's been in politics since the previous coal government. She was even the environmental minister. But as a chancellor, I think she's already served.
Can we go even more?
She's already served more than 10 years, if I'm not mistaken. She's been around for.
So you can really hear, like it sounds from far in the beginning, and then it starts to come nearer and nearer again.
I mean, she's been in politics since the previous coal government. She was even the environmental minister. But as a chancellor, I think she is.
So this is a very rough idea of how it can work with automations with free roam and be very, very useful in post-production. So yeah, that's proximity, automation with proximity. You can always automate the other things as well and see what works for you. So yeah. And lastly, we have the Entropy EQ, which is the final EQ of the rest of the smart equalizer, the proximity, and the entropy that run. So basically, your line of input would go through the smart, proximity, and then the entropy. So the entropy will be the last one that will affect your sound. So what the entropy does is it actually separates the inharmonics, which is up here, inharmonics, and also the harmonic content of your sound. So if I were to push up all the way to the max, then you only hear. Give you an example. Now I have a guitar right here. So if I push all the way to the top, 100% of inharmonic content, then I only hear the pluckings of the guitar because all the harmonic content is now gone. Alright, so basically with this, with the Entropy EQ, what you can do is you can separate the inharmonics all the way in harmonics, or all the way only the harmonics without the inharmonics, so no plucking at all. So what we can do, the special thing about entropy is we can always push in more inharmonics that comes in the top or reduce it, and then maybe add up a bit of inharmonics and the bass parts of the guitar, maybe the pluckings. And let's see how that sounds. So by doing this, we're actually dampening the pluckings on the bright end of the guitar and increasing the pluckings on the bass end of the guitar, which you can play around, right, basically. And it takes some time to get used to the Entropy EQ, given the fact that it's, a new kind of EQ. Right, so I'm just going to try to actually make my sound better by increasing a bit of the plugins on the bright end and decreasing the ones on the bass, opposite this time, right? So that's how the Entropy EQ works. Now, to really use it and to really understand how it works, I would suggest downloading a demo copy of frei raum and try to use the frei EQ and compare what it does and basically try to understand how it works. Okay, so yeah, that's the Entropy EQ.